Alright folks, thanks for coming. We'll have more stuff to discuss. There's one more topic here. Actually, we'll have two more topics. Today, in this video, we'll deal with point slope form. Remember last time we dealt with a slope-intercept form. This time we'll deal with point slope form. Then after that, I'm gonna deal with how to solve two linear equations in two variables, right? In other words, you are given two linear equations in two variables, right? Sometimes you're given two, sometimes you're given three, but we're gonna stay with two. You can be given up to 4 or 5, 6. If you're given several of them, then it's better to use what is called matrices. Matrices, we're gonna get to that when we deal with the linear algebra. But for now, you're given with two linear equations in two variables, and you wanna solve. Those two. It's called system of linear equations that consists of two equations, right? So I want to show you how to solve that. Using substitution method or elimination method. So that will be our next topic. In this video, we deal with the point slope form. Okay. So after point slope form, we deal with solving a system of linear equations. After that, then I will deal with application, how to apply all this stuff will land in real world. Okay. Then after that, we'll go to a different topic, still in algebra 1. Okay. Now, before we continue, please subscribe to my channel, like and share this video. If you have any comments, leave it under the video. I will get to it. Okay. So let's look at what do we mean by point slope form. All right. Here is the definition of point slope form. Point slope form of linear equations in two variables. Okay. So the way they define it is you are given a linear equation in two variables, and that equation passes through a point labeled x. It's an ordered pair x1 and y1. Okay, that equation passes through that point, and then that equation also has a slope called m. All right. Then after that, given that, then the point slope form is represented like that. You see it right there. It's y minus y1 equals to slope m times x minus x1 in bracket. You see that? So try to understand this, you see. So, sometimes this can be written like this. It doesn't really matter. This can be written as m is equals to y minus y1 over x minus x1. You've seen something like this before. You remember when we did, we said what is the change in y and what is the change in x. It's similar to that, you see. So, but this is how you will see this form of a linear equation in two variables. Okay. But note carefully what is given. You have to note what is given and what that is not given. Okay. You see what is given in this equation. Notice carefully that slope m is given. Okay, you will get this slope is given to you, and notice that these points here, this y1 and x1, x1 y1 are given too. They are given. So in the problem, these two things will be given, and they will be given to you. Then you have to solve using using y, using x, okay? So you just need to memorize this equation, then everything else will fall into place, okay? It's not that difficult. So we're gonna deal with some example in a minute. Alright folks, let's solve some examples. You see this one here, you're given a point and you're given a slope. Basically what they want you to do, they say write an equation of the line, right? Linear equation of the line, and then give that linear equation in slope-intercept form. We'll cover that in the past, okay? So there's nothing to be scared of here. I'll show you. But slope-intercept form is like this. It's like y, right? Y is equals to slope, then times x plus b, okay? Where b is the y-intercept. So they say write it like that. So okay, no big deal. We're gonna I'll show you how to write it like that. Okay, so what you do, you need to know which one is see the point giving you, know which one is x1 and which one is y1. That way you don't get confused, okay? That's all you need to do. So the point giving us, you see x1 is giving us as 2 and y1 is giving us as -3, okay? And the slope is -4. Slope is 4, right? And then you write the equation. Y minus y1 is equals to m slope x minus x1, right? This is the slope of point slope form, okay? Alright, so then what do? You carefully put all the variables in. So you have y minus, just tread carefully, y minus 3, okay? Is equals to 4 times x minus 2, since x1 is 2, you see? So basically once you put everything in, then slowly you simplify things. That's all you gotta do, see? So this one becomes negative times negative is positive, plus 3 is equals to 4x minus 8. You see it there, right? And then you move 3 to the other side. You say y is equals to 4x minus 8 minus 3, okay? You see that, right? Because yeah, you see that, right? So there is nothing to be confused about. And then you have y is equals to 4x, right? Y is equals to 4x minus, what is that, 11, okay? Alright, so this is in the slope-intercept form, you remember? I just showed you slope-intercept form as y equals to mx plus b, right? Over here, b, in the equation we find b is equals to minus 11, and slope m is equals to 4, right? Alright, here is a second example. Now you're given a point and you're given a slope. They want you to write it in slope-intercept form. But first you gotta determine what is this line using point slope, okay? So you given that x, I'm sorry, I don't want to use red. We're gonna use black, not red. You're given that x1 is equals to 2, y1 is equals to 4, and then slope is -4. And then the slope-intercept form, right? Why do I keep saying that one? Point slope form is y minus y1 is equals to mx minus x1, okay? Then you put in the variables, you get y minus 4 is equals to -2, right, times x minus 2, right? Make sure you put everything in it. carefully, that way you don't make mistake. Then you start simplifying. Y minus 4 is the same as minus 2x times, let me see, yeah, plus 4. You see it? Because minus 2 times x, you get minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 2, you get plus 4, right? And then you keep simplifying, you get y is equals to minus 2x plus 4 plus 4 when you move for the other side. So you get y equals to minus 2x plus 8, right? And then notice what is going on. So this is well done. So you compare it to this, y equals to mx plus b. You notice that m is equals to minus 2 and b is equals to 8. You see it? You know, so we're done with that one. Now we'll move on to the next one, number 3. Now, I chose this carefully. Notice that you can be given 2 points. We're doing the same thing. You can be given 2 points. They want you to use a point slope form to find the line. The same thing. All you have to do, use those 2 points to get the slope first. Once you determine the slope, then you use any of those points to find the equation. That's it. So the first step is find the slope. You know, the first step right there, you must find the slope first before you proceed, okay? So let me write that first. First, find the slope. Find m, okay? So remember, m we said before is change in y over change in x, okay? So basically it doesn't matter which one you use, but we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna say slope is equals to, we say change in y 6. We're using this number here. See, those are y, right? 6 minus 2, right? And then x, 5 and minus 3, you know, are x. But you gotta be consistent. If you're using this as a final point and using this as initial point, you gotta be consistent. Initial point, okay, final point. You have to be consistent, okay? So given that, then we'll say change in x is minus 3 minus 5. Okay, you see that, right? I hope you understand what I'm doing, because let me explain that a little bit more. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. You get from x1, x2, and then your y2 and then y1. Okay, that's what we're doing there. Change in x, changing y is right there, changing x is right there. So you choose one. Choose which one is see what we did. We used this point here as x2 and y2. I'm sorry, y2, and we use this one as x1 and y1. So whichever one you choose, this is the final, this is the initial. Whichever one you choose, remain consistent. Don't mix it all up. Okay, so that's what we just did there. And then you simplify. 6 minus 4 is 6 minus 2 is 4. Minus 3 minus 5 is minus 8. Negative 8. I keep saying minus. It's negative 8 to be accurate. So you divide that up. What do you get? It would be negative 1 over 2, right? So that's our slope right there. This is once you get the slope, then you use any point. You can use the initial point or the final point. It doesn't matter. Choose one you like. Okay. So let me write it down. Then use m equals to negative half That's what we'll find, negative half, right? Negative half. And any of the 2 points, okay? Any of the 2 points. Any of the 2 points given, okay? So that will give you the final solution. So let's use, we're gonna use the final point. Yeah, let's use the final point. Well, let's use the initial point, it doesn't matter. And then we'll say, remember this slope, the point slope form is y minus y1 equals to slope times x minus x1, okay? And then we'll say we want to use 5. We want to use this point, 5, 2. I want to make sure I write it right. 5, 2. We use this one, this as x1. We use this as y1, okay? Alright? And then we'll put it in this equation using the slope we found. The slope we found is right here. That's the slope we found, right? And then we'll proceed. What do we get? We get y minus 2, right? Is equals to the slope minus half times x minus, what is that? Minus 5, okay? So we just have to simplify, that's all. We'll simplify this. We'll go slowly. Y minus 2 is equals to minus half times x. You get, let me say minus half x. Okay, and then minus half times minus 5. It will be plus. It will be 5 over 2. See? I hope you can see it. And then we'll move to the other side. We'll say y equals to minus 1 over 2x plus 5 over 2 plus 2. You see it, right? But I'm going to play a trick. We always play this trick. Instead of writing 2, I write this as 4 over 2, which is the same thing. You divide 4 by 2, you get 2. So I did that way I can simplify this. So it becomes equals to minus 2x plus 9 over 2. You see it? So what we'll find is y equals to minus 1 over 2x plus 9 over 2. So we're done. We're done because the slope is that, because this is in the slope-intercept form, and then this is b right here, right? So we're done with that one. There's no mistake. All right. Let me show you something in this problem. We just solved this example 3, and then when we found the slope as half, right? This is what we'll find here. The slope right here. We found this slope here, okay? And then I said use the slope and any of the point given, and we chose this point. Now the question I have for you, suppose instead of this point we use this one. So I know some of you are wondering, are we gonna find the same thing? Let's do it right now. I'm gonna do it in red, okay? So we'll just do it right here. So what we're doing is we're giving the slope. The slope is m equals to half, okay? And then we're gonna use this point, minus 3 and 6. This is x1 and this is y1, okay? Instead of using this point here, because remember we'll have this point at that point. Instead of using this one, we're gonna use this one, okay? So you see right there, the question is, are we gonna find the same thing? This is what we found. Let's see if we'll find the same thing. So we'll say this point slope form is y1 not y1. Y minus y1 is equals to slope times x minus x1, right? Okay, and then we'll put the variables, the value of the variables given. Then we'll have y is minus what is that, 6 is equals to, the slope is half, minus half times x minus 3. Okay, we'll close it, right? Just look at it, check it carefully, and then we'll just simplify. If we simplify, can we get the same thing here? That's what we're trying to see. So we'll simplify. Is y minus 6 is equals to, first we'll simplify inside the bracket. X, see, this is like the minus 1 times minus 3. So that will be, I keep saying minus, it's negative 1 times negative 3, okay? When you do that, it will be x plus 3, okay? So we clear that bracket, that inside bracket. You see what we did, right? And then you keep simplifying. Y minus 6 is equals to minus half x. Now we're gonna remove the bracket, minus 3 over 2. You see it, right? We didn't do any magic. Okay, and then we'll remove, we want to have y by itself, so we say y is equals to minus negative 2x negative 3 over 2 plus 6. You see it, right? Because we'll move 6 over. Now here is the trick. I'll play with that number. Instead of writing 6, I will write 12 over 2, which is the same thing. 12 over 2 is the same thing as 6. So watch this. It's negative 1 over 2x minus, let me see, 3 over 2 plus 12 over 2. Notice I didn't change anything. I just want to have the same denominator right here. You see it, right? So it's the same thing as negative 2x, right, plus, notice what we're doing, plus 2, all right, 12. It's 12 minus 3. You see that, right? No magic, because this negative goes with that. So I'm trying to combine that and this. Okay, you see that, right? So you get negative 1 over 2x plus 9 over 2. You see it, right? Okay, so this is basically y is equals to that, and that's what we got before. You see that? That's what we got before. See, we got that before right here. You see it? Before we got y equals to negative 1 over 2x plus 9 over 2. The same thing here. Y equals to negative half x plus 9 over 2. You see that, right? Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you, doesn't matter. Once, if you're given two points without the slope, you find the slope. Once you find the slope using those 2 points, it doesn't matter which points. Then you choose one of those points to form the slope, from the point slope form of the equation. Once you do that, see right here, once you do that, you simplify, and you're gonna end up with the same result. It doesn't matter which point you use. That's what I wanted to show you right there. Okay, all right, folks, let's mess with fractions. You remember one time we declared the war on fractions. Now you are given 2 points, all of them fractions, right? Everything they are fraction. They want you to just do the same thing we're doing. First, you used point slope form, right, to determine the equation. Then you reduce the equation to slope-intercept form. That's what we've been doing. Okay, so when you're given 2 points, what do? You find the slope first. You have to use a point slope form. You gotta find the slope first, and then after you find the slope, you use any of these points. Okay, so here is what we're gonna do. I will label this initial point. That way you understand, initial, I will label this final, okay, final point. Just like I showed you when you have x1, x2, okay, and you have y1 and then y2. So this is initial, this is final, okay. So basically that, you know, we just use that's conception. We use it to solve this problem. So to find the slope, we know what slope is. Slope is equals to change in y, okay, over change in x, okay. That's what we know slope is. All right. So which one do we use as the, you know, we already labeled this final. This is final, this is initial, okay. So then to find slope, we'll continue this way. We'll say 7 over 3 for y minus 8 over 3, because you see, according to what we did, this is y1, I'm sorry, y2, x2, y1, x1. See, that's why I say initial, final. Okay, so we keep going. That's right there, changing y over changing x. Okay, changing x is 1/2. I'm sorry, 1 over 3 minus that one. Okay, that's minus 2, negative 2 over 3. So once you set it up right there, you simplify. It's nothing to be scared of. You simplify that thing. It's a lot of fractions. Fractions will drive you nuts, but we'll have control of it here. Do the numerator. What do you get there? You get negative 1 over 3, okay? And then what is numerator? Numerator is, first you simplify, starting with the bracket. You have 1 over 3 minus, it will be plus 2 over 3, okay? You see that, right? You keep going, simplifying, minus 1 over 3 over, what is that down there? That's 3 over 3. You see that, right? All right. Then m is equals to, now don't forget this is m. We're looking for m. All that stuff we're doing is m. Okay. So basically this is minus 1 over 3 over 1. See the same thing as minus 1 over 3. That's the slope. So our slope is minus 1 over 3, right? And then we use one point. I'm gonna use the initial point. We use the initial point, which is this point here. We use this point here. That's the initial point. We use that, and then we remember that the formula is y minus y1 is equals to slope times x minus x1, okay? And then we substitute all the stuff we know using the initial point. What do we get? We get, let me see, we get y minus, what is y1? y1 is negative 2 over 3, right? Right? No, hang on a minute. What am I? No, I'm sorry. It's negative. It's not negative. It's 8 over. That's y1 right there. 8 over 3. Sorry. So that then is minus 8 over 3. Right? Is equals to what? Equals to negative the slope. Slope we'll find is negative 1 over 3. Then times x minus. Now, what are we subtracting? Where is, you see? This is our x1 right here. Okay? So we're going to make another bracket minus 2 over 3. You see that, right? Okay. So now we'll simplify. Once you get all the stuff positioned, then you simplify. Okay, let's simplify a little bit. The right hand side is 1 over 3 x, because we're going to take care of the inner bracket. This is like minus 1 times minus 2 over 3. So it becomes positive positive 2 over 3. See? You see that, right? If you don't see it, just stare at it until you know what we did there. Okay, so we'll continue. So y minus 8 over 3 is equals to, now we get rid of the bracket, minus 1 over 3 x minus, let me see, that's 2 over 9. You see that, right? That's how we got rid of the bracket. Okay, so on the left we'll get rid of, we'll let isolate y by itself. Then we get y is equals to negative 1 over 3 x negative 2 over 9. It becomes positive 8 over 3. See it, right? Now we have to play trick with that number right there on the right hand side. We want to have the same denominator for those two fractions. Then we'll go like this, negative 1 over 3x negative 2 over 9 plus, see that, I will say this one you multiply those both numerator and denominator by 3 to get 9 in the denominator, so you get 24 over 9. You see that, right? And then we'll have to add these two. We'll add these two. Alright, so we keep going. That will be equals to negative 1 over 3x. Let me see, plus, basically it will be plus 9, 24 minus 2. Make sure you see that, man. We're just adding the two fractions, negative 2 over 9 and positive 24 over 9. We're adding them together because they have the same numerator, so that's what we'll have to do. That's how we'll simplify that. Okay, so we keep going. What do we get? Negative 1 over 3x plus, you simplify that, you get 22 over 9. You see it? So this is y equals to, see, we're done. Basically, we are done. We are done with this problem. That's what they're looking for, and that's what we got. I think I did it right. I know I did it right. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, and that's what we got. It's kind of if you're not careful, you're gonna make a mistake. You just have to follow the stuff clearly and slowly until you can get it. It's a lot of writing. Take it slowly and easily until you solve the whole thing. Until you solve the whole damn thing. Okay, let's go to another example. Alright folks, here is another fraction. It's all fraction. You got 2 points and they want you to use the point slope form to write an equation, but then simplify the equation in the form of a slope-intercept form, right? But you're only given 2 points, so it's okay. The first step is to get the slope. Once you get the slope, then you use one of those points and solve the problem. The previous problem, you will use the first, we use the initial. I said this is initial and this is final. This is just a conceptual model I use to remember. That way you don't mix things up. So let's find the slope. The slope is m equals to change in y over change in x. Okay, change in y over change in x. So we use the final points. The final points subtract the initial point. That's what we need to do here. Then we'll go. Let me do it over here because this one is a lot of writing involved. That way we'll have enough space. So we do that. What do we have? We'll have minus 1 over 4. Alright. Minus 9 over 4. Okay. It's over 5 over 4 minus 1 over 4. You see that, right? You see what I just did, right? That's what you just you choose one which is final for you, which is initial for you, and then you simplify stuff. Okay, so we'll simplify that. What do we get? We'll get, let me see, we're gonna get, let's see, minus 10 over 4, okay, is over minus, what is that, it's over 4 over 4. You see that? Right? You simplify that, that will give you minus 5 in the numerator. 5, you divide 4 by, you get 2, divide that, you get 5. You minus 5 over 2 over, what is that, over 1. So it's the same thing as minus 5 over 2. You see it, right? So our slope, this is our slope right there. So this is the slope. So we got the slope, and then we use any of the point. In the previous example, I used this one. Okay, this time I'm gonna use this one. Okay. All right. So then, what we need to do? We use the formula. We know what it costs. We use the point slope formula, which is this: y minus y1 is equals to mx minus x1. Okay. And then I'm gonna use the other point. I'm gonna use 5 over 4 minus 1 over 4. That's the point I'm gonna use. Okay, so we use that with the slope. We get y minus, minus 1 over 4 is equals to minus 5 over 2. That's the slope. X minus 5 over 4. You see it? You see what I'm doing, right? Just look at it carefully. That way you understand what I just did. Okay, so then we'll simplify. Once you plug in the variables, then the rest is simplification. Notice that what is on the left is like minus 1 times minus 4. So that will give you y plus 1 over 4. You see that, right? There's no trick I played there. You see that? And then in the right hand side, you gotta get rid of the bracket. You get minus 5 over 2x. All right. It becomes plus 25 over 8. You see that, right? Because what I did is you take negative 5 over 2, you multiply with negative 5 over 4. Then you get 25 over 8, positive 25 over 8. You see that, right? And then you keep simplifying. The first thing we need to do, we need to have y by itself. We say y is equals to negative 5 over 2x plus 25 over 8 minus 1 over 4. You see that, right? You see what we just did, right? Basically, we're gonna play trick with this one. The trick we normally play. So we'll write it like this. Minus 5 over 2x plus 25 over 8 minus what is this? Multiply that by 2. You get 2 over 8. See, we didn't change nothing. If we cross it, you get 1 over 4. So we want to have the same denominator. That's all. We want to have the same denominator. It will allow us to simplify faster. So we do that. We get, basically we get, get minus 5 over 2x plus, you simplify that, you get, it's like 25 minus 2. Sometimes I omit steps because it's too much writing. That's all you're doing there. Then you get minus 5 over 2x plus what? Plus 23 over 8. We're done. Basically, we are done. So let me write it in the form you recognize. Y is equals to minus 5 over 2x plus 23 over 8. We are done. We are done with this problem. That's the solution there, right? We are done with that one. It's a long one, but we'll slug it out, So yeah, we did a good job there. So let's move on to the next one. All right, folks, here is example number 6. Another fraction. You got 2 points, and they want you to use the point slope formula to write an equation of it, and then simplify it to slope intercept form. Okay. Like I said, when you're given 2 points like this, you find the slope. And now we solve fraction. There's nothing to be scared. We'll just attack it. We attack the fraction. This time this is initial. Okay, this is my way of remembering stuff. This is final. So let's find the slope. Slope is equals to change in y over change in x, right? Okay, so in this case, slope is 5 over 4 minus 3 over 2 over minus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 2. So we'll have to simplify that. You simplify that, simplify the numerator. What do you get? We just have to play tricks with all these numbers, okay? You simplify that, you have 5 over 4 minus, 6. You multiply by 2, 6 over 4. I want to have the same number in the numerator and on the fraction on top. Then the fraction on the bottom, the same thing. Minus 1 over 4 minus 2 over 4. See? So see what I'm doing. This is the same thing as 1 over 4. This is the same thing as 3 over 2. So I didn't change anything. I'm just playing tricks with the number. So you simplify, what do you get? If you simplify that, basically you get, let me see, over 4, you get minus, what is that, minus 1 over 4. It's over, let me see, simplify that, you get minus 3 over 4. You see it, right? Okay, now how do you solve this? Now, there is the way you deal with fraction. If you have a fraction on top and a fraction on the bottom, you flip the fraction on the bottom. You flip it. You can write it as multiplication. You flip that. You flip it like this. Let me show you. I write it the way you can see it. So the fraction on top is minus 1 over 4, right? And then you flip the one on the bottom. Flip it like 4 over 3. That's the theory. We didn't do anything wrong. We just flipped it. That's the way you're supposed to solve it. You see that, right? And then when you simplify, you see that this cross that. Okay? That cross that, and then you have see the two negative. When negative turns negative, it becomes positive, okay? So if you cross it like that, okay, let me write it out that way. Don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I write it out would be negative 1 over 4. I'm sorry, hang on a minute. I don't want to confuse you. If you cross all that out, it would be negative, it would be negative 1, right? Times negative 1 over 3. You see it, right? So that would be the same thing as positive 1 over 3. Because when you multiply negative with negative, you get positive. So this is we have finished with that. This is the slope. The slope is 1 over 3. Now we use any of those 2 points, right? I'm gonna choose to use this one. I'm gonna use this point here, the second, the final point. I use that, and that final point is minus 1 over 4 and 5 over 4. Okay, that's what I'm gonna use with the slope to finish up the problem. So then the point slope form formula is y minus y1 is equals to slope x minus x1. See that, right? Sorry. So you put all this information, put the slope and the point, you get y minus let's see, 5 over 4 is equals to the slope 1 over 3 x minus what is that? This is the x, right? Minus 1 over 4. Okay, and then we'll simplify things. Y minus 5 over 4 is equals to 1 over 3 x minus, what is that? You remove that. This is like minus 1 times minus 4. It will be positive 1 over 4. See that, right? So that's what you do there. So if you do like that, that's what you're gonna have. So you will keep simplifying. We'll keep simplifying that. We'll remove the bracket. We get y minus 5 over 4 is equals to 1 over 3x plus 1 over 3 times 1 over 4, you get 1 over 12. You see that, right? So the bracket is gone. So we'll isolate y on the left. Y is equals to 1 over 3x plus 1 over 12 plus 5 over 4. You see it, right? I just moved the negative 5 over 4 to the other side. It becomes positive 5 over 4. Now we're going to use another trick on that number. 1 over 3x plus 1 over 12. We want to have the same denominator on both fractions. Then we'll have, let me see, you multiply that by 3 to get 12, right? So it will be 3 times 5, 15 over 12. See? So we didn't do anything wrong. We're just trying to combine these two. That's all. We just played the trick right there. Okay, so we'll keep going. What do we get? 1 over 3x plus we'll combine those two. We get what is that? 16 over 12. You see that, right? Okay, so what is this? Once you get 16 over once you get 16 over 12, what do? You divide this by 4, you get 4. Divide this by 4, you get 3. So it will be 1 over 3x plus 4 over 3. So this is y. We're done. This is what we're looking for, and then we got it. We're done. So we did it right. See? That thing is long, man. It's long, but we did it right. You see it? Just check it out slow, step by step. You see we did it right. Take your time and go through it. If you see any problem, if you see any mistake, put it in the comment. But I know we did it right, okay? So we'll move on to the next one. I think that might be the last one I have for you. Okay, here is another problem. This is gonna be the last one. We've done too many of these. Okay, so we'll say you got 2 points, right? They want you to use point slope formula to write this as an equation, a linear equation in 2 variables, but then they want you to reduce it to the slope-intercept form. Now you have no slope, so the first thing you do, you find slope, because this point slope form, the point slope form needs a slope and then 1 point, okay? So the first thing we'll find slope. Slope is m equals to, remember, change in y. This is change in y over change in x, okay? So what does that mean? Don't forget, this is final and this is initial, so that's the way I like to label it. So the change will be like this. Change in y will be 1 over 3 minus 1 over 3. See that, right? That's the change in y there. And then change in x will be minus 1 over 3, right? Minus 2 over 3. So you just have to simplify that. Once you get the stuff written, just simplification is just the next step, okay? So we'll simplify that. Let me make this a little larger. We'll simplify that. What do we get? We'll get let me see. Again, always when you have negative times negative, you get positive, okay? So it's like the numerator is like minus 1 times minus 3. So you get 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 over minus 1 over 3 minus, let's see, 2 over 3, okay? That one is okay. Yeah, the numerator is okay. So we'll simplify. What do we get? We'll get, let's see, it's 2 over 3 divided by minus 3 over 3. See that, right? So that's the same thing as, let me see, 2 over 3 over minus 1, which is the same thing as minus 2 over 3. You see it, right? So this is our m. M is minus 2 over 3. You see that, right? Make sure you follow the logic. You have to just slug it out with fraction. Fraction will nail you to the cross, but if you don't pay attention clearly, but I know I did it right there. I did that right. The slope is negative 2 over 3, okay? Alright, so we got slope there. We'll use any of these. I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm going to use that point. So, if we use that point, so then we'll say we'll have this point. What is that? Negative 1 over 3 or negative 1. Negative 1 over 3. Negative 1 over 3. And 1 over 3, and then using the slope m equals to negative 2 over 3, right? So those are what we'll have to work with. Okay, so and then we'll go to this, the formula is like this: y minus y1 is equals to slope times x minus x1. That's the slope. Given the information, we'll put it in the slope. We'll get y minus 1 over 3 is equals to the slope minus 2 over 3 times x minus 1 over 3. You see that, right? That's what we get there. So we'll simplify. We'll have to simplify this thing. We'll get minus y minus 1 over 3 is equals to, let me see, we gotta take care of inside bracket first. 2 over 3 x, let me see, plus 1 over 3. See, we've done that many times. So you keep simplifying. This will be, let's keep going. This will be the same thing as negative 2 over 3 times x, negative, then will become negative 2 over 3 times negative, and positive 1 over 3. That would be negative 2 over 9. You see that, right? I just want to get rid of the bracket. So you see what I did that now? We didn't break any rules. So basically now we'll have y minus 1 over 3 is equals to negative the slope x minus 2 over 9. So we want to isolate y. We say y is equals to negative 2 over 3 2 over 3x minus 2 over 9 minus 2 over 9. Then we'll move this thing the other side, you get 1 over 3. See? Alright, if you move it over, you get 1 over 3. So the problem we have now, we gotta combine that. To combine them, you have to make it the same. You have to make the denominator the same for each fraction. So we use that trick we know very well. 2 over 3x minus 2 over 9 plus, we'll multiply that thing by 3. We get 3 over 9. See, we didn't do anything because if we cross out, you get 1 over 3. So what we'll have there is 3 over 9. We'll keep going, minus 2 over 3x. So we'll combine those two. We'll get plus 9. What is that? They said 3 minus 2. You see it, right? You see that, right? It's very simple. Minus 2 over 3x plus 1 over 9. You see it, right? Basically, we're done. That's why right there. We're done. We are done. I like it where we did it, where we do everything right. See, we are done. That's the solution right there. Please subscribe to my channel. Like and share this video. If you have any comment or question, leave it under the video. I will get to it. Please, thanks for paying attention to what I'm doing, and I will see you in the next video. What is that I said I'm gonna do in the next video? I'm gonna do let me see, I'm gonna do some more stuff with the slope, because you know, I'm gonna do some stuff with slope and perpendicular lines, and then parallel lines. I do that, and then after that I do something with solving a system of linear equation. I'm just gonna have 2 equations. Each equation will be linear equation in 2 variables. I will solve it because that will introduce you to matrices. But we're not gonna use matrices. You're just gonna see how to solve it using substitution method or elimination method. Okay, I will mention matrices there when we get there. You say a little bit introduction to linear algebra. You know, so we'll leave it there. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for coming. Bye.